Good morning, everyone. So it's been a while since we've done one of these, and so we've been out of sync for quite a while, I'd have to say. And yeah, we're just gonna do a simple impromptu speech today. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna edit this or not, but anyway, yeah, let's just get started. So we're gonna generate the speech topics here again. Okay, orange, research, salt, spiders, and soup. A lot of this is food related, as you can see. Orange, and you have salt, and you have soup, and hopefully you don't get a spider as food, right? Now, funny thing, I just ate a fly today. Didn't swallow it, is the lucky thing. But yeah, I was eating cake and I felt something hard and, just took it out of my mouth and oh my god, it was a fly. I could see its wings and all, and it was just absolutely horribly disgusting. I almost puked in my mouth. And yeah, I was like washing and rinsing my mouth for like the next half an hour or so. But yeah, definitely not a pleasant experience. But anyway, yeah, just getting back to these topics. Most of this is food related. I'm not really sure how much I can go into food related stuff. I mean, what can you really say about something like an orange or salt or soup? It's different. Anyway, spiders. Yeah, a lot of people have fear of spiders. And research. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go for a simple one. We're gonna pick salt and we'll just go along with it. So yeah, I think thinking about salt, there's plenty of different directions you could take. You could talk about the history of salt, the role it played in the Indian independence movement is one thing you could say if you wanted to. Generally, just talking about it, how it's used in a day-to-day life. Then if you wanted to go to the other side of things, you could probably talk about salt as in people taking offense. Talk about salty sports fans, salty gamers, things like that. Really, it's open to interpretation, just like every time, and it's basically your speech, so you can decide which direction you want to take it. So anyway, yeah, let's just, we're gonna give the speech. Let's see how it turns out. Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about salt. Now, if we take a look at the history of salt and food in general, you'll have to see that salt has played an integral part in food as a whole. For one thing, if you eat anything without salt, it tastes bland. Salt is something that helps you add flavor to things. And, if you look into the history of it, I think almost every food culture has used salt in one way or another. And it really is, you can't make food without salt. And so if you look at the process through which we get salt, basically what we did was we used to take seawater and leave it out to dry. And so when the water evaporated, you'd be left with salts. And this was done in salt pans, right? Specific areas of land dedicated to, just getting salt. And so what they do is they take the seawater, leave it in there. The sun would evaporate the seawater and you'd be left with salt. Now, this was back in the earlier days, right? And that's just normal rock salt that you have. There's the salt that we eat today. It usually has iodine in it because iodine is an important part of our diet, and if we don't have iodine in our salt, it leads to a variety of diseases. And so basically what we've done is that the concept basically remains the same, but just that we've added iodine in salt as well. Now, if we were to talk about the role salt has played in the Indian independence movement, it goes back a long way. The British, when they were ruling India, they had imposed a tax on salt. And now salt was something that was, available and used throughout the country. You could go up to a shopkeeper and just ask him for salt and he wouldn't even charge you for it. That's how integral it was to the Indian people. And so basically what happened is that the British, when they were ruling over India, they decided is that they impose a salt tax. Now, Mahatma Gandhi opposed this, saying that, it's integral to the Indian people. And so what he decided is that he'd break the law by going on a march and making salt. And so this was called the Dandi March, right? And he started from Sabarmati Ashram and he walked roughly around about, I think, 240 kilometers, I'm not sure, somewhere along that way, and all the way to Dandi. And along the way, he met loads of people who joined up with him, and the march as a whole became bigger and bigger. So when they finally reached Dandi, they made salt, and it marked, among other things, the fact that we could resist the British in different ways, and it stirred the feeling of nationalism among people in India, and the feeling that we should come together to oppose the tyranny of the British Empire. So anyway, that was this Dandi Salt March. Now, if you're talking about everyday salt as a use, I think we use salt every day in food. It gives flavor to food, and any good chef is worth his salt, pun intended. But anyway, I think we've had a couple of occasions where we put too much salt in things, and you just can't eat anything like that. So I remember when I was a little kid, uh, I was eating dinner, and what I did was the salt that I had was one of those big particle salt thingies, and I just poured it in, and then I mixed it, and it was way too much. So I had to eat more and mix it in so that it became normal again. So, kind of a pointless story, but yeah, just, keep things in moderation is what I'm trying to say. And now, if we were to talk about salt in the other term, I think one of the most popular uses of salt in cultural language these days is someone being salty. And that by that they mean someone being, offended or pissed off by something. And so you can take this for in reference to sports fans, right? Whenever a sports team loses, the fans are particularly salty about things. They cry about how the decisions didn't go in their favor, how the referees are with the other team, and things like that. So basically, it's people just can't accept the fact that their team lost. You can also take that in terms of gaming, where you have salty gamers who, whenever they get killed in a game or something, they just blame everything and anything except themselves. So they'll say, "Oh my god, my computer was lagging, the internet was slow, my mouse slipped," all those other excuses, except for the real reason that they didn't play that around very well. So yeah, I think as a whole, salt is integral to the culinary experience, but also the fact that it's been such an important symbol throughout history, and the fact that something so simple can elevate a culinary dish to the next level is something that is it's inspiring, to say the least. One ingredient that holds a lot of power. So anyway, I think I'd like to end this speech by saying salt has been an integral part of human history, and it will continue being so as long as we continue to eat savory dishes. And yeah, I think as a whole, what you'd like to do is ensure that you, as yourself, as a person, don't become salty in nature, right? You're always level-headed, and yeah, you always take responsibility of your actions and don't put the blame on other people. So anyway, yeah, that's all I think. Yeah, have a good day. Okay, so if we're gonna actually analyze that speech, let's just see what other things were said. We're talking about orange. Let's see what the hints suggested. I mean, orange, I think you'd talk about scurvy and things like that. The pirates had scurvy. I don't know. It really could take it in any way you wanted to. Okay, yeah. Problems, solutions involved associated with or related to orange. I think some of these suggestions are, just generic. I should have realized that a long time ago. But anyway, I think if you're talking about orange, you just talk about it as a fruit, how sweet it is, prevents scurvy. And what else could you say? Can be used in a fruit salad. And it really doesn't, really up to you where you take this, but as a whole, I really can't see much you can do with orange. I think you could probably talk about the color, because I was there going with the fruit. Talk about the color, what it represents to you, things like that. All right then. Okay, we did talk about research. So yeah, is research irrelevant, outdated, or no longer needed? It's quite a pulling question. In fact, I talk about the scientific community as a large and what they've been doing. Is it worth it giving them so much grant money to do research? I think it is because you learn new things every day. But some of the research that's been carried out is actually ridiculous, to say the least. I mean, all these health fads and research about them, like this is the best diet, this is what you should be eating, this is what you shouldn't be eating, more or less is circumstantial, and you can't really say that. You can't really have conclusive evidence that what they're saying is right. And so, yeah, I think that's just something. Forgive me for the bike racing in the background. I mean, really, it's annoying to say the least. But anyway, yeah, research. That's that. Salt is what we talked about. Let's see what the. Okay. Analogies related to salt. Food, dishes, or drinks that go well with salt. Yeah, we didn't really cover the food as a whole, but can still go with other things. Problems, harm, solution related to salt. I think we covered most of what we should have. Anyway. Spiders, okay, yeah. Are you afraid of spiders? What do you think about spiders and insects in general? Yeah, any incidents involving spiders, right? Fear of spiders, how people generally react to spiders, things like that. And finally, you have soup, again, another food thing. Okay, yeah, the demand for soup, different types of soup. What do you think about soup? Do you like soup? I don't know, you just take it wherever you want to. Anyway, yeah, that's all for today. Have a good day, everyone.